Hi there, podcast and public radio fans. Heath Drusen here, host and creator of the Extremely American podcast. I'm working on season 3, which is an urgent story about neo-Nazi terrorists and how they helped build a modern white supremacist movement, even from prison. Some of their ideas have even made it to today's White House. It's both a gripping true crime story and a timely warning about threats to our democracy. And this time, my investigative reporting is funded by you. To support the project, please make a tax-deductible contribution at extremelyamerican.org. That's extremelyamerican.org. And thanks.
More Idaho Matters now from the studios of Boise State Public Radio News. I'm Gemma Gaudette. As America celebrates its 250th anniversary, the Smithsonian National Museum of Natural History is opening a new exhibit. It's called From These Lands, Sharing Our Natural and Cultural Heritage. It includes 600 rare specimens from all 50 states, including everything from fossils to birch bark canoes to Idaho's mountain bluebird. Now, many of the exhibits have never before been on display. Torben Rick is the co-curator of the exhibition and curator of North American archaeology at the Smithsonian's National Museum of Natural History. And we're lucky enough to have him joining us now to talk more about the exhibit. Torben, welcome to the show. It's really nice to have you with us today.
Oh, well, thank you. I'm really excited to be here with you.
Okay, so I want to start with some basics. There are folks who have not had the opportunity to ever visit the Smithsonian, let alone the National Museum of Natural History. Can you kind of take us on a little, walking tour of what's at the Museum of Natural History in DC?
Absolutely. Yeah. So we are, proud to be one of the museums associated with the Smithsonian Institution. The Natural History Museum is located right here on the National Mall in Washington, D.C., right in the shadow of the National Capitol Building and the Washington Monument. Within our museum, we've got 2 floors of exhibits that cover everything from dinosaurs to mammals to human origins and the oceans deep all the way to forests. So it's a really diverse museum.
Yeah, I have to tell you, it is my boys. It has always been their favorite museum. We've been lucky enough to visit DC a handful of times, and it really gives you a sense of, as you said, mankind, right? Humankind and the evolution. How important is it to have, a museum like this that we should tell people the Smithsonian is free to the public?
Yeah, I mean, this is the nation's museum, and it's owned by all the American people, and we hope you will all come here to visit us. We take a lot of pride in being the nation's museum, and we take a lot of pride in being here to help educate people about the natural world. And that's one of the things that we're so excited about in this new exhibit, is that it's part of what we're doing for the 250th anniversary of the United States. It's one of our responses to show people the beauty of our collections and how they represent all 50 states and territories in the U.S.
So tell us a little bit more about the exhibit itself and what people are going to be able to see.
Yeah, so the exhibit itself is 5,000 square feet. And as you said, there's over 600 natural history objects and cultural items in it. They're pulled from all 50 states and all U.S. territories, a lot of things that we've never shown and may never be able to show again. What we've done, though, is instead of organizing it by state, we've organized it around a series of themes, because we really want people to come in here and see connections between the natural world. So much of natural history, doesn't flow neatly on political boundaries. It flows right across them. And so we've taken that theme as an opportunity to show people connections between where they may live and spend time and other parts of the U.S. And then also we wanted to create a space where people can come in and see these neat little stories and perhaps learn something about themselves, where they're from and their connection to the natural world.
So can we talk a little bit more about what's on display from Idaho, because you are going to be displaying what's called a mountain bluebird. Can you talk to us about this? I mean, how old is the specimen? Where did it come from? What do we know about it?
Yeah, so we've got seven amazing objects from Idaho scattered around the hall with material from other states. One of my personal favorites is this mountain bluebird. And you can just picture, your listeners can just picture the most beautiful blue, almost turquoise bird you've ever seen. And that's the male is the brightest blue. The females tend to be a little gray with blue feathers down near the tail area. This bird is really important, and the one we've got on display, it dates back to 1912. It's from Goldberg, Idaho. And it's really important for Idaho because it's your state bird. So we've got it
Hmm.
paired throughout the exhibit and then also paired in this area with several other birds that are state symbols. And so we're trying to capture people's attention. Oh, look at that. This is my state bird. And then within that, we're trying to show a story of biodiversity. So it's paired with other birds from other states where people can really look and see, wow, that is, we've got like 60 birds displayed here. They're study skins. There's a lot of diversity there. And then we're also trying to educate people about why we have collections. Why do museums have these bird specimens? And it's a gateway to think about the types of research that people do and understanding, all the various facets of our natural history.
Because my understanding is you have something like 600,000 bird specimens at the museum.
Absolutely. Yeah. We have over 600,000 specimens from the United States National Museum collection here at the Natural History Museum. That represents about 85% of the roughly 11,145 known bird species. So we've got a lot of them. We still have a few to go to get the full pantheon of known species, but we've got most of them represented here. And it's a world-class collection for both research and then also for education.
Okay, so I want to get back to the new exhibit, because as you mentioned, there are what, seven objects from Idaho. So we talked about the bluebird. There's something called a lava bomb. Can you can you tell us what this is?
Yeah, so that's one of my favorite sections of the exhibit is on volcanoes. And within that, we've got several of the different types of igneous rocks that emerge from volcanic eruptions. And one of the coolest by far is this lava bomb. And the lava bomb, it's about like a foot in diameter. It's brownish, blackish gray in color, and it looks like nothing you've ever seen before. It almost looks like a skin or leather that's kind of been out to decay. It was collected from the Snake River Plain River region of Idaho back in 1903. And what's amazing to me is, the US, we have more volcanoes, both active and inactive, here in the US than in any other country around the world. And then volcanoes are responsible for much of the shaping of Idaho's landscape. And
Hmm.
what happens in these different eruptions, their eruptions are really like a whole continuum from these crazy gaseous explosions to oozing lava. And in the case of lava bombs, when a huge eruption happens with hot gases that launch molten or partially molten lava into the air, these bombs that come down as fragments produce these igneous rocks. And they're just really amazing, like nothing you've ever seen before. This particular one dates between likely about 15,000 and 2,000 years ago in a past eruption.
So you also have, I think it's like a grasshopper from Idaho. Can you describe this? I mean, what makes a grasshopper so special?
Yeah, so this is paired in an area we call dazzling diversity, where we've got insects from all over the US collected together, grouped by state, but also grouped by region. So you can see, insects from Idaho compared to Montana, California, or right adjacent to that, places like Alabama and elsewhere around the US. And again, we're trying to captivate our visitors to think about just how diverse our animals are around this planet, and that includes insects, which are by far the most diverse group of any animals on the planet. There's an estimated 91,000 insect species that have been described just in the United States, and of course, many more that are yet to be discovered. And one of these that we've got displayed prominently is this Carlinian snapper, which is a band-winged grasshopper. We've got it pinned so that the wings are out displayed, and it's amazing. It looks almost like a moth. If your listeners can picture that, it's just this beautiful tannish brown grasshopper, and then it's paired with a couple others from Idaho as well.
Okay, do you have any other objects in the exhibit that really, stood out to you?
Yeah, I love the whole thing. But one of my favorites is a dress, and it's a dress from the Choctaw Native American nation in Oklahoma, Mississippi, and Louisiana. And this dress was collected in the 1930s by a Choctaw seamstress. And what I like about it is the story was co-produced and created with Choctaw tribal members today. But on this dress is this diamondback rattlesnake pattern. And the Choctaw revered rattlesnakes and saw them as protectors of their crops. They would protect mice, keep mice away from eating their corn crops. And we've also got paired with that is a diamondback rattlesnake and mouse specimen from our vertebrate zoology collections. And it tells this wonderful story about the connections between people and nature, and how really what I like to say is it's natural history is everything. It's the insects flying around us. It's the lava bombs that litter our landscape in certain areas. And most importantly, it's us. It's the people around us and the ways we connect with nature.
So let's say you cannot get to the Smithsonian to actually see the exhibit in person. Talk to us about what you've done, because you have something that's called a story map, and it's online, right? And folks can access this. So what is this?
Yeah, exactly. So we've got an online companion for the exhibit. Everyone can access that at naturalhistory.si.edu, and there's a link to all the From These Lands material. A story map is really a great way to create sort of a geographically encoded story. And it's basically an online exhibit where we've got all sorts of materials, the same photos and stuff you would see in the exhibit hall, many of the same descriptions, in some case, larger descriptions and even multimedia material that we weren't able to put in the hall. And then it's also got a map down near the bottom of that story map where people can click on their own state or a territory and see some of the objects that I just talked about. In fact, all three of the ones we just talked about, people could go on and see those live. So yeah, we're very excited. We hope everyone can come here and see this. It's going to be open through 2029, but we understand that's not possible. So this online companion is a really good way for people to connect with this exhibit.
So what are you hoping, whether people see the exhibit in person or they use the online tools, what are you hoping folks take away from the exhibit?
Well, first, I hope they have tremendous pride for just how amazing the natural history and cultural diversity of the United States is. We have such a rich amount of material around us and surrounding us every day, no matter where we live or spend time. And I hope people can walk away from this exhibit learning something new, learning a new way to think about or connect with the natural world, but also seeing themselves as connected to it, and that in their daily lives, no matter where you're living or spending time, you are very much part of the story of natural history.
And again, tell folks how long it's going to be on display. I mean, I know it's celebrating the 250th anniversary of the U.S., which of course is happening on July 4th, but I would think an exhibit like this, you want to make sure you have it on hand for a few years.
Yeah, we definitely will have it up through 2029. So for 3 years, it always has the possibility of getting extended beyond that too. And with 600 objects in there, I mean, this is a place you could certainly get lost in for a full day, but it's also a place where if someone's coming to DC just for a quick visit, they can spend 5 minutes in there and see and learn about something really cool.
Well, it is such a great museum. Torben, thank you so much for taking time to talk with us today. We really appreciate it.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate it too.
We've been speaking with Torben Rick, curator of North American archaeology at the Smithsonian's National Museum of Natural History. He's also the co-curator of the new exhibit called From These Lands, Sharing Our Natural and Cultural Heritage. We'll make sure to put some links to the exhibition on our website, boisestatepublicradio.org. Thanks so much for listening to this episode of Idaho Matters. And for quick news of the day, start your mornings with our podcast. It's called The Connector, Idaho Daily News. If this podcast has become a part of your routine, can you tap 5 stars and leave us a review? It helps us stand out.
Each story you hear on Planet Money starts with a question. What happens if we refund tariffs? Why are groceries so expensive? At NPR, we stand for your right to be curious, because the forces shaping our world can be hard to see. Follow NPR's Planet Money wherever you get your podcasts and start seeing how the economy really works.